back and thank you for staying with us. Of course, this is our discussion segment. Today, we'll take a look at financial prudence for the Yuletide season. Of course, it is safe to say that the Yuletide is already upon us. As always, I have with me the ever outspoken and dynamic Global Director, Africa House, who has also become a great social commentator. Please let's welcome Engineer Abayomi Onosonya. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's so nice to have you
It's a
here.
pleasure. Thank you
You
so
always
much.
bring hope. You always
Thank
bring
you.
hope. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So the Yuletide is upon us,
Yes.
and everywhere seems like it's in a frenzy.
Oh, it is.
Let us start by first differentiating between financial prudence and financial freedom.
First of all, good morning, Abuja. Good morning, Nigeria. Thank you for having me. Financial independence basically means, I mean, in a layman's terms, basically means you reach a point where money no longer becomes a concern. You reach a stage whereby all your needs are met and you don't have to worry about money. While on the other hand, financial prudence is these are the steps you take in order to reach financial independence. So financial prudence means steps you take to reach financial independence where money no longer becomes an issue. So those are the two simple differences between those two expressions.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification.
Thank you.
Now, why is there always such a frenzy every Yuletide season? Panic buying and the rest of them?
Well, believe it or not, I think in my own opinion, it's all about looking back at the year and having that sense of achievement because humans love to reward themselves. And we all know that the Gregorian calendar, the year is rated within 12 months. So you ask yourself, okay, I'm almost finishing this 12 months. What have I achieved? And in the end, you want to kind of reward yourself. Yes, although people tie it to religious celebrations like Christmas, New Year, and all that, but the truth remains in that concept of, you know what, yes, I've done a lot. Let me just relax a bit. Let me reward myself. Let me celebrate myself and my family and friends. And what makes it even more, what makes the friends even more chaotic is the fact that children are on holidays, people take leave, vacation, family members all gather together. They sit around the desk and then they say, you know what, we're all together, let's celebrate ourselves. Let's celebrate the children, let's celebrate the father, the mother, the family members. So this gathering together, creates some form of joy, within people's hearts. And then, of course, when people are merry, what do? They celebrate by eating, by wearing clothes and trying to, just show their neighbors and the world that, you know what, I'm still here. I made it through the year. Yes, this is me. Yes. So let me celebrate myself. Let me have fun. Let's go to places. Let's spend money. And then, of course, we need to be careful because this is where it becomes very challenging because in a bid to reward yourself, people will make mistakes. People will overspend. People will forget their sorrows for the moment.
For the moment.
For the moment. And so this is what we're here to discuss today to see how we can be better prepared, how we can make the right decisions so that in the end we won't end up hurting the subsequent year.
Hmm. This can come with challenges. It may pose a little bit of challenge if one is not so financially prudent for the season and the year coming ahead. What are some of the challenges that can come with this?
Well, some of the challenges are, of course, we all know is overspending because, yes, many people will say, you know what, I want to travel, I want to go see my family members, where I'll see my brothers, my sisters, my cousins, and friends who I've not seen in the whole year. So, and that social acceptance, the need for social acceptance makes us make mistake. And then the guy will say, no, I can't go to my village or to my friends wearing the same set of clothes. I have to wear something different. Or for a lady, okay, let me buy this new weave on that is 1 million naira, 2 million naira to show that, you know what, I'm well to do. So then people start saying, fine, okay, whatever it takes, let me just get those things to show that yes, I'm still socially acceptable. Let my friends see me that I've done better. And unfortunately, people will start getting into loans, into financial troubles, as I call it, and if one is not careful, that person will basically dig a serious well, a financial well for themselves. And unfortunately, 2025 may even become hard, or it might even decide how fruitful 2025 will be. Because imagine someone who says, I'm going to the village and I've got cousins and aunties and friends that I have to give gifts to, and then he's not even received the salary yet, and he knows that even the salary is going to receive, he has already gotten loans. So what does he do? He gets more loans, he gets
Oh
more
Lord.
credit, and then, oh, I need to wear that new Ankara, that new fabric. Then how much is it? 200,000 naira. And of course, because he's not thinking from a logical sense, he would actually overpay for what you ought to pay little for. If this was January or February, when somebody says, come and buy a fabric for 200,000, you say, no, 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 I'll give you only 100,000. But because he's tired, don't worry, let's just buy, So that frenzy, that hype, because we humans are social animals, they
Yeah,
call us
yeah.
in science. Once you see another friend or someone buying the same thing, you want to buy it by all means because you want to feel good, or you want to buy that phone. Maybe you've been using the same phone, and then, oh, you know what? They have to see me in the village that I'm using another phone, so let me go buy the new model of phone that is 3 million naira, and then people get deep into trouble. And I'll tell my listeners, just be careful the way you spend your money. You don't need. I mean, yes, social acceptance is important, but the truth is, you need to always balance it up with reality, because whether you like it or not, the Yuletide will end, and once the Yuletide ends, then you have to face the reality of January. And as a friend would say, January is usually 60 days. 60 days, not even 31 days anymore.
Oh Lord, tell me about it.
So because, and most companies often find it difficult to pay salary on time in January because allocation takes time before it kicks in and all that. So you have to think about all of that, and then the liabilities for January is usually more for some reason. Children will go back to school. Tuition, of course, the schools will even say, oh, we want to increase the tuition. You must be prepared for that. And for some people, their yearly rent ends in December. So remember, just be ready to face your landlord. January, remember, for the kung fu and the karate you will fight in order to be able to pay
Oh
those
Lord.
bills. So there are a whole lot of challenges, and even not even that, even the threats to life as well. Because in the frenzy, people say, let me travel, and then they don't take particular caution to fix their cars, properly, and of course, we know the state of our roads. So leaving from Abuja to, say, Lagos, for example, you need to be careful, make sure your car is in good working order before you jump on the road. So you will need to take, and so unfortunately, many people will actually die. So, I mean, my own is just take it easy. Don't push beyond your limits. Let logical reason actually take the front burner before you do anything. Don't let your emotions, because this is the season of emotions, like, oh,
Mm.
I made it December, yes, let's just do it, and then you start making mistakes left, right, and center. So it's a time to take it easy and then take the right decision while we celebrate at the same time.
Mm. And it leaves me wondering if it's all worth it in the first place.
It
Well,
is.
I'm glad you talked. You mentioned a little bit of buying and all of that. But let's take a look at market trends.
Wow, wow,
What seems to be the
wow.
market trends that come with this whole season and all,
Well, one thing that comes.
especially as it concerns pricing.
Yes. I mean, one thing that comes to mind is pricing, like you said. Prices are overpriced, things are overvalued. If something is worth 10 naira, they will price it 20, 30 naira, 40 naira, unfortunately. There'll be what they call price gouging. And I'll use a simple example that we all know, like chicken, for example. I hope you know that the average chicken now is 25,000. That's on the
Mm.
wholesale. In fact, that means if you're buying from the guy
That
selling
is
in cages.
serious.
So if you now go to certain places where, sophisticated markets, should be ready to pay 30,000. But these are birds that were sold for 10, 12,000 just, a few days back or in November. So one of the attributes of this season is unnecessary or unreasonable pricing. That's why we need to be careful how we buy things. Even the bag of rice. Yesterday, I was in the market doing my survey, and then I asked, how much is this bag of rice? The guy said, oh, guys, 135,000. I said, how about that?
It was so
135,000.
lesser
Then I was like,
a
what
few
is
weeks
going
ago.
on? He said, Oga, I said, but take it easy. I know rice is being harvested now. I told him. I said, I confronted, I said, but I know rice is being harvested now. So rice, in fact, should actually drop. He said, no, Oga, no be like that. Oh, it's Christmas, it's end of the year, this, that. So even the sellers themselves, they know that the price they're selling is unreasonable, but because people are willing to buy, it's the law of demand and supply. If you are still haggling over 130,000, somebody, one big guy will come and say, how much? 150,000 I'll pay, and you just take 10 bags, and you're like, whoa, people still have money to buy 10 bags. So you see a lot of prices being unreasonably, I mean, high.
Hi.
That's one thing. And then you now discover that average Nigerian will feel left out. That's the sad story. So this is my appeal to anyone selling anything. let's be reasonable. Yes, you want to make all the money in the world in December, I get it, but let's not, I don't want to use the word wicked now. Let's be nice to
To
ourselves.
ourselves.
A margin of 20-30% is fine, but making double, triple the price is just unfair. Like rice, average Nigerian will cook rice during this season. So please, at least make rice affordable, please. And then chicken, and then meat, oil. Those are essentials. We need to
Essentials.
celebrate. Let's cook our jollof without pain. I beg. I'm begging you guys. So let's afford our jollof. So and several others. So things are usually unnecessarily expensive.
Awesome discussion here today on the show. Good morning, Abuja. And we're taking a look at financial prudence for the Yuletide season. If you stay with us, there's a whole lot more to be heard right after the break. All right, welcome back. We're still here discussing financial prudence for the Yuletide season. Engineer Bayomi, the very next month is, comes with a lot of expenditures for family. They're paying rent, they're renewing school fees, and all of that. How can they apply financial prudence in all of that?
Well, yes, January is always longer in terms of the expenses you have to make. And one smart way to do that is to start planning now. In fact, I would tell people that you should start planning by November. Don't wait till December. What do I mean by this? When the November income or salary comes in, you budget a huge chunk of it and you put it in a separate account where you don't have access to. What do I mean by you don't have access to? Like, for example, what people would do basically is they have an account that they don't have the ATM card to. You see, they know the money is there. So
Yeah.
what you do is you squeeze yourself and you cut maybe half of your salary, one quarter of your salary, you just dump it to that account, and of course you don't have the ATM card. So you can't just do impulse buying. So you can do that. So for December also, what you now do then is you do a proper budgeting, because this is where many Nigerians fail. Nigerians actually don't take financial literacy seriously. It's not something they do. You should sit down and say, okay, fine. January, what are my expenses? Tuition for my boy who is in high school, my son who is in university, my daughter who is in college of education, my rent. So you do a list of the expenses you know that you have to. It's almost sure. You can't shake it. You keep it on one side. You know how much it is, and then you now kill yourself in quote to ensure that those budget is met before December 15th or before December 30th. So that money you keep it aside. So whatever is left is what you will spend. Even if it's 10 naira that is left, you tell everybody, listen, we've got 10 naira to spend this December. Let's stay within this 10 naira. Anything above 10 naira, I don't want to hear it. It's none of my business. No matter how much you cry or you scream, I'm not going to listen, because what will happen is by the time you suffer during the Utah season, or you squeeze yourself, January, you have that peace of mind. And of course, many people get hypertension in January. Unfortunately, if you ask the doctors, they will tell you people are admitted to hospitals because of high blood pressure, because they've enjoyed in December, they've had fun, they ate all the turkeys, all the chickens, and all the nice clothes and the nice, all the whatever. But then January comes, the landlord knocks on the door, to, I need my rent. Wait now, I'm waiting for my salary. The landlord cannot wait because that's his only source of income. So you cannot blame him too. His children is being kicked out of school too. So he needs the money. And then Nigeria of today, the guy will not even go to court to go and evict you. He will just go and bring some thugs, tear your door down, say, yeah, carry your load, and he'll throw it on the road. So you want to avoid those embarrassments, you see. And of course, for your children's education, remember the stress you are facing, other people are facing, is basically transference of aggression. You transfer it to your landlord transfers to the tenants and whatnot. And also, you need to avoid that embarrassment and that peace of mind. And like I said earlier, the best thing you can do to yourself is have money when others don't have money, because that way you'll be the most relaxed person on earth. You're basically saving for the future. So I believe these are some of the strategies you can use to actually save a lot of money. And of course, this involves a lot of discipline, because if you don't put those discipline into play, January will be very, very stressful. And of course, most landlords will even increase their rent in January. Automatic, this is by 20% more, take it or leave it. And there are people waiting to rent the same house you're staying in. So kill yourself, get a budget, keep the budget in one separate account where nobody can touch, where you cannot have access to. So that's one simple way that you can actually do that. Or you can have investment accounts with all these commercial banks where they call it is it fixed deposit or something, where you are contributing from January or even from February. You start putting 10% of your salary against the next January or against the next year. So these are some of the strategies we need to do. And of course, Nigerians, please, let's learn budgeting. Budgeting is one thing that is killing us even in Africa as a whole. We will always try to calculate it in our heads. I don't want to let me see 2 plus 2, okay, plus 3 plus 4. But the truth is, there are some things you will forget. Like you have cousins and nephews who will come and call you, say, Uncle, we are coming to spend Christmas with you. What do? You say, don't come. So those are some of the things. And of course, you must learn to say no to people. Say, we're coming, please don't come. Ah, but uncle, don't come. I'm sorry. I can't take care of you. I have my children to take care of. So it involves a lot of discipline and involves, because people will insult you, people will say, ah, you are too cheap. Say, thank you very much. I know what I'm doing. I have my children to take care of. I know where I'm going. And when you are happy, they'll be crying because they don't have money to spend. So these are some of the things we can do to prepare for the long 60 days January, as I call it.
A lot of buying and selling goes on this
Yes.
season. How can entrepreneurs maximize their businesses and boost their sales and everything without necessarily exploiting
Exploiting
consumers?
consumers. Well, I mean, what I would say is this: there are some business strategies a business person can put into place, and people should understand that the concept of money coming in trickles. Let's say instead of selling one cup at 100 million, you can sell 100 cups at 1,000. So what do? You can even discount your products. Instead of selling for 100 naira, I'm giving you 20% discount on this product. People naturally will flock to your shop because the guy beside you is selling at that market rate where everybody's shouting it's too expensive, but you are reducing your price. So you guess what will happen? You sell more volume, and more volume means more profit on the long run. So business people should play the long run game, not the short end. Let me sell 10 pieces and make 1 million and go to the village. No, sell a lot more, but at reduced prices. And of course, put a bit of margin on your product. Don't get too greedy. Don't say I wanna make a whole lot of money and then I want to build a house this Christmas. You can, but give people discounts and price your products very fairly. And for the new startups, this is one area where many people miss it. Christmas is the best time to launch a business.
Why is that?
Why? Is because people are already motivated to buy. People are in the spending mood. They're already emotionally aroused. Oh, let's buy, let's buy. They're looking for gifts. Imagine now everybody's hustling to buy gifts for their children. For me too, I'm thinking, what do I buy for my children? So if someone now launches an innovative product and I just scroll through my phone, oh, what is this toy? Oh, this looks nice. And the price is reasonable, I would definitely buy. So young people, entrepreneurs, startups, this is the time to actually launch your business. Launch it and of course make the price very attractive. And of course, please do digital marketing. The world has moved to digital platforms when it comes to purchases. Do discounts, do advertise your product on all these internet-based platforms and all that. I don't want to mention which ones now. Do a lot of advertisement, promote your brand, even if it's a brand you're trying to promote next year. Just start it now. And there's one example I saw online that really amazed me. I started seeing this advert on my YouTube last 2 weeks. I don't want to mention the brand. And all of a sudden, every time I open any of this social media, I see the advert of this company. And I ask myself, how many millions of naira or millions this guy is going to be spending just advertising this product? But what will happen is, by the time this season ends, that name, that brand is already in our minds. So by the time the guy starts opening a store gradually, we know I know that guy. So this is the time to get brand recognition for your business. Whether you're selling spices, you're selling fashion clothing, remember, brand yourself, get it out there. Even if you don't sell a trillion worth this season, don't worry, just get it out there, launch it now. And of course, use web-based platforms. Let's use social media, pump it out there. Come to NTA, advertise yourself. Let people know your name, let people know your brand, so that during the next year, people already know you've created a name for yourself, and the name is actually where the money is. So this is the advice I'll give to startups and people trying to start new businesses in that regard.
That's fantastic. Now, in the midst of all this, as we wrap up, what would be your advice to the populace out there?
Well, my advice to Nigerians is, guys, take it easy. That's the first thing. Number one, only the living are always are the ones who will spend their money or enjoy. Take it easy in terms of moving up and down, traveling. Don't take unnecessary trips. If you must travel, make sure that your car or your whatever you're going to use is in good working condition. Don't spend beyond your limit. I am always against borrowing money to celebrate. You see, celebration is supposed to be use what you have to, thank yourself or thank your God. So my point is, cut your coat according to your size, be financially prudent, have a budget, know what you're going to spend, what you need to spend next year. Because if you don't, whether I like it or not, January is just few days away. And when January comes, and because of this tough economic situation we find ourselves, people are not smiling. People will not even give you loans. The guy that gave you loan last year, this year might say, I'm sorry, I need the money for myself. So let's be smart. Of course, celebrate with joy. At the same time, let's celebrate first within our family. Family is everything. Celebrate, love your family, love your wife, your husband, your children, and at the same time, appreciate your family members, your parents, your colleagues at work. Take care of them, buy them gifts, appreciate them, appreciate the cameraman, appreciate the presenter, appreciate everybody around you, and let them know that yes, you appreciate them for their support over the last year. And then before you know it, next year will be fantastic. We'll have a stronger nation, a nation where we all love each other.
That's a wonderful way to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for coming and educating us on the show. And compliments of the season to you.
Compliments of the season. Thank you.
All right, stay with us. We'll take another short break, and when we come back, there is more on Good Morning Abuja. All right, welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. We are still discussing financial prudence for the Yuletide season with the Global Director, Africa House, Engineer Bayomi. Let's talk about tourism. This is one of the seasons where families get together for vacations and all of that. What can you tell us? What is it looking like, and any potential?
Well,
what is tourism going to be like in Nigeria for the Yuletide?
The Yuletide is the season where people travel a lot. Of course, not just travel for fun, they travel to see family members. And of course, even globally, there's a whole lot of travels. In fact, the tourism industry makes more than 40% of their revenue during this season, within this 1 month, you see. And from
Globally.
even globally, exactly. But if you look at it from the Nigerian context, one thing I've seen, a common factor that I've seen is many people are choosing not to travel. And it's worrisome because this will affect the tourism industry, the what do they call them now? The ticketing agents and all these travel agencies. Why? Because people will tell you that they simply don't have money to travel. I'll give an example. Going to Lagos from Abuja here, if you're using all these commercial buses, I'm talking smaller buses now, you're looking at 45,000 naira even now.
Wow.
And in the next few days, the price will double. So by December 24, 23, you'll be looking at 70, 80,000 just for a bus ticket to
By
Lagos.
road.
By road. Aha.
I had to
Exactly.
emphasize
So
that.
exactly. So but by air is a different ball game entirely. I mean, from Abuja Jos to Lagos, a friend of mine flew 200,000 naira one way. You see, that was November. So now you should expect that price to go to anything between 300 to 400,000 naira single way. So that has discouraged a lot of tourism. And the annoying thing is that our tourism spots like Bauchi, Yankari, even here in Abuja, those places will be missing out on the revenue that they need to be able to survive. So I don't know how we're going to do it. Maybe we're going to have a national consensus to say, guys, let's just reduce these prices, let money flow around, because people are choosing not to go anywhere. You ask, if you do a survey,
You can't blame them.
if you do a survey, the guy will say, no, I'm not going anywhere. Oh, but every year you go to the village, say, no, I just simply can't afford it. And some would even tell you, okay, fine, that money I will use to travel, I'll gather it and send it to my family members there to celebrate over there. So it is worrisome because gradually we're losing that connection. Imagine cousins, aunties who've not seen each other for 2, 3 years because of financial restrictions. So that industry will really, really be affected. That being said, there's another category, of course, of Nigerians, of Africans who are very, very, very well to do, who don't even bother about local tourism, by the way, who've already gotten their tickets to France, to America, to God knows where. And then, what baffles me is the amount of money people pay for these tickets. I mean, dollars to be specific. So you're looking at a single ticket going for 3, 4 million economy.
What?
Exactly. And this is a family of 10, 12 people. And then, so that amount of money, being spent on vacation. So again, it depends on your pocket, really. So, I mean, whether I like it or not, people will still travel. But on the general note, within Nigeria, I would say, I mean, realistically, that the volume of people traveling will reduce by at least 40%. by 40% because it's simply too expensive to move around. And not only are you moving around, when you get there, you must give them gifts. You can't just come,
Empty
with your empty
handed.
hand and say, hey, welcome, good morning, and then say, hey, what did you bring? So you're looking at transport, the food you're going to cook over there, the goat you will buy, the cow you will buy, and then the gifts you're going to buy for your family members and all that. So people are deciding really to just stay put. Like myself, I'm staying put. I've not decided yet though, but I'm really looking at a lot
I'm
of.
definitely staying put.
Exactly.
A
There
friend of
you
mine
go.
always says, bloom where you're planted.
Oh, there
This
you
time I'll
go.
take that advice.
Exactly. So tourism has been affected, really.
Oh, well. Let's talk about benefits. If we were to inculcate the habit of having financial prudence, what are some of the benefits it will befit us?
Well, the number one benefit is you will finally achieve financial freedom or independence, which basically means you'll be able to do what you like when you like, and which is not often easy. I can tell you for a fact it is not easy because of the inflation and the prices of things. But the benefit is if you're able to control yourself, or shall I say, restrain yourself, because it is very difficult to difficult task really. Because imagine now we go out there now, we go to Garki market and then you see your friend, hey, how are you, Mr. Bami? I'm good. And then you see the guy buying 10 bags of rice, he's buying the 10 packets of chicken, and then he's buying Ankara and nice fabrics for his children. You say, I can afford that, but it's like, no, I know where I'm going. You see, you move beyond the realm of that euphoria and see that vision, what you're planning for. Maybe you're planning to buy a new house, or you're planning to buy your land, or you're planning to do something for yourself. So, I mean, I would say we need to please try to have focus, try to think of that strategic goal you want to achieve for yourself, whether in the next year or on the subsequent year. So constrain yourself, spend only what is necessary. You have to eat. Of course, whether you like it or not, celebrate yourself, celebrate your children, celebrate your husband, your wife. Do it within your budget, within a reasonable budget, so that you'll be able to achieve that thing that you want to achieve. And of course, take care of your children, because school expenses nowadays, they are not funny. You see, and I would just say benefit is you have overall joy if you can control yourself, and financial independence is the ultimate goal. Our ability to retire early, ability to build that house, to buy that new house, or to go for that master's or go for that PhD. So those are the goals one must put in front of you to say, you know what, this is what I want to achieve. So financial independence is the only thing me I see as the advantage, and of course happiness basically. So those are the two things you would achieve if you're able to control yourself during this season.
Would it be safe to say that expenditure is always going to be much more than the income at all times? And if yes, and in a time like this, before we wrap it up, I want you to advise people out there. What would be your word in the midst of all this frenzy? What advice would you give to the public?
Well, I would say cut your coat according to your size. Don't look at your friend or your neighbor. People would always, try to show off. And the truth is, unfortunately, people always have this artificial lifestyle, especially in the FCT. They call it Abuja lifestyle, where the guy is worth minus 1 million, but he's living like he's plus 1 billion. You see, so that's the reality. So know yourself, know your limit, cut your cloth according to your size, celebrate within your limit. If what people say, must you kill a cow? No, you can always kill a chicken, even kill a fish. So food is food. Of course, take care of your family. If you can afford it, take care of them. But at the same time, be very, very prudent, streamline yourself. Remember that January, like I say, is always 60 days. And then you have a whole lot to, the money may not come in early in January. So prepare for January, prepare for your children, prepare for the expenses that will occur in 2025. And remember, inflation is on the rise. Although government is trying to solve this issue, but at the same time, prepare yourself, because it's always wise to have money when others don't have money. But you don't want to be the victim. You don't want to be the opposite, where you're suffering when others are smiling. So remember that your time will come and will go, and your expenses will always be there. Your bills will always be staring you at the face. So be careful how you spend your money.
Thank you so much for coming. I have personally learned a whole lot from our discussion
Thank you
today.
so much.
And let me wish you a very big compliment of the season.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Compliments of
much.
season to our listeners. Thank you.
Well, you can cut out the pressure. It is very possible to cut out the pressure and have a very wonderful Yuletide season. Stay with us on Good Morning Abuja. We'll take a short break and the show will continue.